Do you feel you made a mistake skipping film festivals just to go directly to the audience with Amateur? I mean, it's been, 2 months, I guess, since you've posted the short online. Do you wish you'd gone the film festival route, or was this your whole plan to just post it online? And
That's something that I will wonder about, and that's one of the challenges of filmmaking is that one movie comes out and you think it's really good and no one went to see it. Meanwhile, a lot of people are going to see something else, and you don't know whether it's the strategy of it, why that is. I think it's one of the harder things about filmmaking is that the success of your project is predicated on so many different things, and there's no real way to go back and change it. So to me, the releasing a short online for free, the success of that is predicated on how do we reach the sports world, and the film launch couldn't have gone better. On day one, we're on the front page of IndieWire, Filmmaker Magazine, Short of the Week, Director's Notes. It's a Vimeo staff pick. I think that the strategy of releasing it for free online instead of going to festivals was sound, but that does open you up to the vagaries of the news cycle. And so the day I released it, the day I premiered it, was when the Boston Marathon bombings happened. And that's not only a huge news story as it should be, but it's also a sports-related story. So any website that I was reaching out to that I had initial contact with, suddenly they had, many, many, many stories to do for weeks about this. And the following week, Jason Collins became the first NBA player to come out of the closet. Another huge news story, as it should be. Meanwhile, the NBA playoffs are going on at the same time. So I think, I have a lot of experience with strategy and planning and all these things, and I think my strategy was sound, but no matter what your strategy is, things will always happen that make it, there are a lot of moving parts. And so I was trying to get out in front of the NBA playoffs, but that window closed when the Boston Marathon bombings happened. And I can't complain about that because obviously a lot of people have really, really terrible things that happened as a result of that. But you're over in this little filmmaking world and you're like, I can't complain, but this thing really made my little film release more challenging. So I don't necessarily know that it's online release only versus film festivals. The short is still going to be playing at some film festivals, despite the fact that it's online. And I think there are a lot of talking points there as far as some festivals have a policy that they will play stuff that played online, and some have a policy that they won't. But there's a lot of gray area as far as, what's your exposure been online? Do you need to take it down during the time it's playing at the festival? Are you playing out of competition because you are online? There are a lot of things that I think for me it's worth it just to explore those issues from my perspective firsthand, based on experience, and I'll be sharing what I find on No Film School. But the jury is still out as far as the strategy of releasing a short, who we've been able to reach. We're going to be releasing it on YouTube with sort of a different strategy as kind of a second wave. And I'm still talking to a number of websites that I hope it will end up on. Ultimately, my approach with making the short in general, as opposed to releasing it online, was that it's going to be a great thing for the feature, regardless of how it turns out and who sees it. Because for me, it's a proof of concept, and it's getting on the set and working at a certain pace and finding good crew members and just, the on-set reps of making a movie in this genre. But I think there are a lot of different approaches you could take with a short. One would be, okay, you make it, you hold it back. If you're trying to raise fundraising, you approach investors privately with a screening. It's good, they feel special, they're invested in making this happen because they feel like they've had special access. That would be one way of doing it. The other is to submit to film festivals and wait, and hopefully, you play a prestigious festival, maybe you even win some award, and that kind of validation allows you to then go pitch to investors. And while it's still not online, I think I'll always wonder about these different approaches, but there's really no way of knowing beforehand, oh, this is right, oh, this is wrong, this will work, this won't. And for me, ever since I got started, I've always felt that, there's a place for drama and for quality content online, and that's always been a goal of mine, so it just made sense to go with this approach, especially as we've been in pre-production on Man-Child and in development for so long that waiting for a festival or doing these things behind closed doors was only gonna, make the delay longer. So I wanted to rush, and I wanted to put it out there and have people see it. It's a work I'm extremely proud of, and so that was ultimately kind of the decision maker as far as putting it online. It's a short prequel, so you want people to watch it and feel like they want to see more. And in that sense, the more people that see it, the better.
In terms of dealing with your plan of action and then the world, acts of God, whatever, things coming in and taking over. I mean, we've heard so many people say, well, I've launched a crowdfunding campaign, but then this crowdfunding campaign or this world event happened. It sounds like your plan is just to keep going, not complain, and just proceed as normal. Or are there times that maybe people should pull back and say, you know what, this is probably the wrong time to do this?
I think when you're sort of spread thin and you're overworked and you're just pushing forward yourself, there is no really pulling back. I would love to have a number of consultants and we have a meeting and everyone strategizes and we break and we come back a week from now and then we plan this other thing. But, it's me pushing the rock up the hill. And so I feel like anytime I, let go of the rock, it's just rolling back down. So for me, yeah, just the momentum of it and keep pushing and have the attitude that this is going to happen with or without whoever's involvement. Whoever you're meeting with next, you're making it, and hopefully they want to be on board, and if not, you're making it anyway. That's kind of the approach I have, and I guess there'll be plenty of time in the future to take meetings and pause and strategize and take our time with it. But I'm not letting go of that rock at this point.